And here we are on a Friday where I come to you live every week at midday UK time, and talk about all things self-love. Today I'm going to be speaking about acceptance. I've spoken about it quite a few times, and I know that I will speak about it again in the future because it is a really, really important theme. It's something that is important to practice. I've seen it in practice, I've lived it in practice, and so I know how important it is. So here I am for Friday. On my list of things to accept today is my fuzzy hedgehog hair, because it's growing out. I'm allowing it to grow a bit. And it is not easy to style hair that is 1 centimeter, not even a centimeter long. It's fun, creative every morning. And today I decided to rock the messy hedgehog look. So that's what I'm accepting today. The challenges. Thank you for joining me. I love coming to you every Friday and talking about all aspects of self-love. So let's talk a little bit more about acceptance. To start off with, I'm going to read a quote by Faye. Accept, then act. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Thinking about that, it's quite something. That is quite an idea to swallow when you think about circumstances. I'm sure there's a whole list of things in your life that you. Why should I accept that? That really, really sucks. Hi, JJ. JJ UK, welcome. Just what I needed today, says JJ. Yes, I think it's a lot of us need this right now. As I was saying, circumstances come up, things happen, people behave a certain way, life takes turns, there's curveballs are thrown at us, things that we just don't expect, or even sometimes things that we know might happen and we just keep hoping that they won't, and then they do. And to get to that place where we actually have to sit and accept it because it's a reality. It's not a fact of, it doesn't mean that we like it. It's the thing of, I don't like it and I'm scared. If I accept it, does this mean that I'm saying it's okay? Does this mean that I'm saying that I want this, or that I'm choosing it for myself? That I'm choosing this experience? No, it doesn't. It simply means accepting the fact that it is there, that it is. It does not mean that you would choose it for yourself. It does not mean that you wanted it. And even in the world with all, did I create this? Have I created this horrible experience for myself? Don't even go down that road yet. In the moment, when you're having a tough time, when there's something that is uncomfortable, painful, unpleasant, to try and turn into where it comes from, why it happened, all of that, that's not the first step. The first step is just acceptance. As Eckhart Tolle says, accept it as if you had chosen it. Doesn't mean that you did. Once it's accepted, though, that's when we can look at it and go, okay, is this what I want for myself? Is this experience what I want? It could be something that's completely outside your control, like, for example, a light example is the current lockdown situation in the world. And most people across the globe literally don't know where they stand. Can I travel? Can I not travel? Can I go and visit my friends? Can I not? Let's check what's happening today. What is the current status of lockdown in my area? I know in the UK at the moment, all areas are in different stages, and they're talking about shifting a whole lot of areas up onto a higher stage, and yet in the same time, at the same time opening hairdressers which haven't been closed. So it's so confusing. So you can look at a situation that makes no sense to you, and go, I don't know what to do with this, can't control it, it's literally out of my hands. Kicking and screaming, getting depressed, getting upset, how's that working for me? In that space of my example is that I want to see my number of reasons, and I possibly can go and see my daughter because she's in Northern Ireland, which is the UK. So UK to UK travel I can do. So great. However, there are a whole lot of question areas. There's a whole lot of discomfort. There's a whole lot of uncertainty. My first step is to accept that. And if you can feel that out with me, the minute I accept that I can't see my family in South Africa this year, the minute that I accept that I think I can see my daughter and then variables involved, the minute I accept that, there's a sense of relief. It's kind of like okay, now I know what I'm dealing with. It's taking that thing that seems so big, that seems so overwhelming, that seems so awful, and bringing it into the front of me and looking at it and saying, okay, this is it. Now what? So that's where the next step comes in. So if this is the situation that I don't like, then I want to change about it. What can I change about it? What can I change about me? Hello, Olga. Olga says, so good to be back here with you again. Yay, thank you, Olga, and welcome back. It's good to be here, as always. And I love seeing you guys here. JJ, Olga, thank you for always being here. I really appreciate it. So thinking about that space, so now there's that relief. I've looked at the situation that's causing me discomfort, and I don't know what I'm dealing with. Now I can look at it and I can see, well, what can I change? What do I want to change? What experience do I want to have? To me, the current situation that I might fly there and not be able to come back, virtual space as much as possible, and I will sit with that acceptance. It might not be what I would have chosen ideally. Look at the uncertainties there. What can I do? Am I allowed to check all the info? Enough information, I have the resources, I can make that happen. So I do. So immediately I've empowered myself just by accepting the reality of the situation. There is such power in straight away is it reduces anxiety and creates a sense of safety. And the reason for that is because by accepting, you've taken the external locus of control and you've turned it back into an internal locus of control. I am back in control of my own responses. I'm back in control of my experience. So I've accepted the reality around me, which puts me in the driving seat again. So now I get to choose what experience am I going to have with this reality that I've accepted. And I've used a really, really light example. There are really, really tough situations. As I've mentioned before, I have faced some tough times in my life. Things like crime, the death of loved ones. Death is never easy. We know that it's inevitable, but it's never ever easy to say goodbye to someone. Crime is horrible. I come from a country where unfortunately there is a lot of violent crime. So different traumas that come through accepted. The anxiety around that situation is diminished almost completely just by accepting it. Then we can sit with it, look it in the eye for what it is, whatever the trauma or discomfort or even just a mild irritation to have. What I've said before, and I'll say again, is it's not about, for example, when you're working with self-acceptance, you might look at a trait of yours that you have. Let me backtrack a bit. Accepting a tough situation, accepting a really tough situation can be hard in that immediately you might think, if I accept it, to what I said before, it doesn't mean you're okay with it. It's just accepting it because it's real. And there are ways of communicating that without disrespecting the sensitivities around the subject, because so many difficult subjects have sensitivities around them. It is key to remember that rooted in all of this is self-acceptance. You come first. You are it for you in your life. That's what I'm always on about. That's why self-love is the root of everything, according to me. You are everything that you have. Therefore, your experience is the one that counts the most for you, of how you choose to thrive. And that is a tough one. The more you love yourself, the more you will thrive, the more you will come alive. And so often that shines a light on other people's dark spaces when they're practice, accept what is, and then you will be empowered. You will empower yourself to be able to choose your experience thereafter. So going on to that, allow yourself that space. Allow yourself in challenging times, difficult times, to accept and then to choose for. We're actually all here to have a beautiful experience, and it is possible out of any set of circumstances that may not have been chosen by us. It is possible to turn it around and still live a life of fulfillment, of joy, of your power. Being able to choose your response is that you become fully present in the moment. So you really, and to live a life of fully present in your life is the greatest gift. That's where fulfillment comes from. That's where true joy comes from, despite circumstances. That's where, but it's not anymore. So I hope that you can practice this, practice accepting, love yourself more by accepting your situations, your circumstances, and above all, yourself. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. Love yourself. See you next week.